Coach Catfish here. Said fine eating. Crazy off for the Shabbos. Then we had a good day. And I always like to talk a little bit about the stuff and the portion. And in your bed, in that book, they say there's the voice and the word of God, the vox of God, of the YAH. There's no such thing as a New Testament and an Old Testament. That's what somebody thought they was helping you out, telling you some poo-poo like that, because they had an agenda. If it's old, it's out. If it's new, well, it's bright and shiny. We got to get rid of the old and in with the new, like the new YAH. Because Kevin's got the fear. That's why I'm talking to the rock head. Oh, I hope this sucker's waking. I'm sorry, little hand. It was the Doges and the Mojes that left you in this situation. Half of the way, he does not look good. He just look very unhappy. Transitioning lizard, trying to go from a plastic lizard to a real, well, I don't know if it's a boy lizard or girl lizard, because my lizard was a girl lizard. Anyway, so what are we talking about today? Well, this is the Bible story. What we was dealing with, it had to do with stuff about the Shechem and about the Dean and the Dinah. And Coach Catfish is one of them contrarians that I do not think. I think the R word has very specific connotations attached to it. Very specific. It's done violently. And everything Coach Catfish can get from the specifics of the story is wrong, but it wasn't violently. It wasn't violently. It may have been whatever you do. You go out amongst Hittites and Bettites and various other sundry people. You never know what may happen, but at least you say that he loved her. He loved the girl. He loved the Dina. It's so tiring getting into this stuff. But the thing is, if people would talk about these things, they'd realize the Jacob man and chillins and stuff, they're human beings. They're just people. They have families and they have circumstances and they moved around. And anytime you move around, because Coach Catfish knows about that, I was always a new kid in town, and people pick on you. And you have to fight and stuff that happen. And your family, hell, Coach Catfish tried to feed some children some mud pies one time when I was a little boy, because I thought you could eat the mud pies, and I got in trouble on that. And it's just that kind of stuff. Things happen. Things happen when you throw people. Especially people snatched together that ain't from the same place. They do not have. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the rock, but I know rocks is right deep. That's why you got the rock head. Anyway, that's why I'm talking loud. Coach Catfish, ask for your forgiveness. Talk to the rock. Anyway, it hurts the hand. I'm sorry. But the only reason I was telling you about this story is because it has to do with them people, them Bible people. There's people. They had people problems. There's a certain class of teaching individuals that just come out with all kind of stuff. 3:17, all kind of stuff that is not true, has nothing to do. It may be the oral tradition, and I don't say much about that. But these here brothers, what they did, they took it. You go read the story. It has to do with the Shechem and the Dinah and the two youngins, the Simeon and the Levi. And this is what Coach Catfish want to talk to you about. And will tell you, if you understand, there's one group of people, and Benjamin, by I mean, has a lot to do with this too. And you need to realize that there's more than just one group of people. One brother in that situation. And they wasn't even the first brother that had all kind of stuff go on, as you will see. Because if Coach Catfish remembers this is right, Levi was called Yah's portion. It is the portion of God. It was his people. His portion. Levi. The Levites. Anyway. So what am I telling you this here? Because them two boys, they got together. And they did something. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole story. Because we could be here all night talking about the ins and outs and various other things. Which is why I wish Christian people would learn. There's so much to learn. And realize that the people at the front, the back of the, according to which one you're reading it in, the people, we all got our problems. Poor Jacob, you know why he said, at my advanced age, when Pharaoh said, what do you want to say? my life has been hard, and it's really up, and it was just deadly hard, and it was harsh. Yeah, that was paraphrasing, but that's what. And when you look back at the Jacob's life, every time he turned around, he was running from somebody. Somebody's gonna kill him. He thought he was, and they might be going to. And it's just trouble everywhere. He got his women, and what happened? There's trouble there. He left them. Trouble there. Anyway, trouble. But praise be that y'all spoke to him, met with him, pay to face to face, and help work stuff out. But what I wanted to get at was them two young'uns. Now, you see, I'm not sure. I know Daddy did not know what was going on. Because he's like, you two, you young'uns, you make us stinketh. And what it was, is there's like a family that had resettled there, bought land and everything. And then the young'uns did what they did. I would assume, just like Jacob did, they're going to come kill all of us. Because what you did, suckers. And see, this is what the young people, teens, 20s, maybe 30-somethings, I don't think they're that old. They do stuff not realizing what the old has out there understands that you, and they had a chance to work through it diplomatically. But no, they violated everything they could, and still the YAH came and helped them. And that's what Coach Catfish say. You don't want to do things that cause YAH have to, come fix your boo-boo. God, that's not good. And I'll go into that more later. But anyway, the Levite and the Syrian, y'all figured a way to keep them apart from each other. Because it looked like there's the two brothers. You put them together and they sort of resonate off each other. And next thing you know, things die and there's no telling what could be happening. And that's what it was. So y'all had figured it out way to keep them apart. And the way he did that, he took them, took Levi's and said, you mine, sucker. You're going to be doing this here. And that way, you are kept away from the rest of your brothers because you have a job, a very specific job. And it's a job ordained through the YAH saying, this is you. This is what you're going to do. And they say, yes, to praise YAH. We do that. And that's what it was. And that's just the way I see a daddy doing something, knowing he has troubled children. Because they all trouble when you get down to it. Ain't no such thing as perfect children. Coach Catfish were not a perfect children. I was beat into submission. But hell, we human beings trying to come in snagging people. But that's what he did. He dealt with it. The YAH dealt with it by separating these here youngins and keeping the Levites as that portion. They worked it in the temple where there's things. It didn't seem to bother them. Coach Catfish tell you, doing that, you do it, it's necessity, hunting and doing stuff with hides and such. But, doing it all the time, I don't know. They seem to do it good, so, it's a small one. Excuse me. I have an awful trouble issue with my tissue and my stomach, so, excuse me. You just have to live with it, as I do. Well, you can turn it and go somewhere, and that's okay. But the thing was, y'all figured out, well, he just separated them, took one into his close confidence, and the other one, well, you know the prophecy, spoke it to all the youngins. And that's just what I thought was right interesting. You see, back many years ago, 843, Coach Catfish was on my way home from Wake. And, I in this new relationship, marriage and stuff. And it was not looking good. And I say, yeah, what would this individual do if Coach Catfish had a wreck or something 15 minutes later? And I've told you this before, but you need to hear it again. What do you think happened? And I found out exactly what would happen. And y'all had to come to my rescue. I like it to croqueted after all that stuff. So what I learned is you do not ever say, y'all, if you love me, you're going to come fix something. No, do not do that. But what is so interesting is that Jacob and the youngins, they went and killed all the men of Shechem after they had been circumcised. It's their sword. It said it's their sword. And you can imagine and what he had to do. Because them boys caused such a ruckus that everybody's going to end up killing them all. Well, hey, he coming down and fixed it. So you had not one person doing something with another person like Coach Catfish did and was talking about the dent I was with. This one here was a group of people with another group. And so it was on the next scale up. And then the next scale is where, like the world scale. So it goes from individual to the larger, just a group, all the way to the world. So the thing is, we do not want to do things that cause YAH say, got to come down here to save us from our own self. And that's what Coach Catfish is trying to get across. We do stuff, foolishness, and then we expect somebody to come save us. And at some point, got to grow up and not do the things and waste time of the cosmic, the main man, or whatever, however you say it, at the top. So anyway, that's what we should do. It's a good day. You learn these here things, and you learn certain things to do, certain things not to do. You don't want to go get under the skin of the boss. You don't want to pull the reins on the Long Ranger and whatever you do with Slim, I'm not sure. But you just don't want to do that, and that's what it was. Don't cause the master extra disaster. Cause when the big boy comes into the room, it seems like things really break. Anyway, Coach Catfish out of here. Oh, it's a good day. It's a very good story. And praise YAH, we're supposed to learn the wisdom. The wisdom of the hisdom, the hersdom, and the whole mergedom. Because young folks is going to continue to make trouble for their family and their daddy, if they have one. Praise YAH, they had one there. Coach Catfish did not have that thing, so like the Mama Dent told me, if you ever get in trouble, don't call me. I was like, okay, that's why I stayed out of trouble for the most part. It's a good day. Tomorrow it will even be better. We talk into the stone, because you gotta have the stone as foundation, the stone of the YAH in your life, because everything can be built on the stone. Cause otherwise, you're on the shifting sands. And we know that computer processes and things like that's nothing but the shifting sands. You know where Coach Catfish builds his foundation. I just use the necessities of the media. Because, well, that's all we got. Praise y'all. I'm holding my pussycat. I don't think I'm going to try to play on the keyboard. And the other exchange thing, I'm hoping it comes in for a croak. I think it should be here on Monday. Because that sure was I wanted to play that big old piano there. But I'll play the one that's on the way. Praise y'all. I just want to play. Pussycat. Hanging out with the papa.